Okay, so we've drilled our 10mm hole in the middle, and now we're ready to assemble our spoke gears. So the first spoke we're going to take is the hexagonal spoke gear. That one has a smaller square cut out than the other one. The smaller square is designed to take one of these little connectors, and we're going to connect them together. First thing, we're going to take one of these yellow spacers. That just brings this down to the correct level, and we're going to pop that in there. Now that's going to be quite difficult to get it lined up because they're very precisely made. So we're going to take a file, and we're just going to rub it down there once or twice, and it just creates a little bevel on the front, just creates a little bevel, so it helps it find that hole a bit better. Do that on the other side as well. Say twice, 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 twice. Okay, so now we're ready to line these up. We're going to take one of these solid bars and one of these tubes. Be careful with tubes. If you put your fingers in there and turn, if there's any burrs in there, it can be incredibly dangerous. So never put your finger in there. Don't kind of wave it around. I have deburred that a little bit, but it might still be very sharp. Same for the outsides, they could be sharp as well, so be careful of these, please. We're going to take, first of all, our metal bar, and we're going to put that into the vise, like so. That is helpful for us because we put this one like so, and we line it up. Because it's got the bevel, it should go in fairly easily. Then we're going to take a little tack hammer, and we're going to just tap it in. Because it's going down to something metal, it's going to go exactly flush and not go too far. But I'd probably go a little bit further than that, if possible. We're then going to line up. Now it's difficult to line up at the moment, so actually let's go a little bit deeper. So let us put in the tube. Now please don't over tighten this. It is possible to crush this tube, and this has spent a lot of time. We haven't got any of these, so please be careful, just enough to hold it. Now we're going to line up, and we're going to tap it. That's just going to stick out the other side. That enables us to locate onto here, like so. Okay, now at the moment it's lined up, but it hasn't gone to the right depth. This is when we need to put the metal one in, the solid metal one. We're going to put this side up here. It's small enough to fit in between those teeth. I'm just going to give it a few little taps and check, and a few little taps and check, and we're just going to bring it until it's just level. Okay, we need a little bit sticking up. We need that sticking up because we're going to take our box and we're going to pass it up through there like so. So it's in the box, and then we're going to take a cap of some description. That cap might be one of these yellow ones. If you want something just moving around circular, then this is fine. You might want, however, it to be a gear. It might be a gear like this that might drive some small gears. It might be a big gear because you want two little gears either side. You might want some bigger gears on the side. You need to decide at this stage, and hopefully have already designed what it's going to be. You're going to decide what gear is going to be the cap for it. So in my case, I'm going to have this gear. Hopefully push on. If it doesn't push on easily, then we can put that onto our metal, and we can push it on gently. If it doesn't push on, we can use our tube and line up, and we can just tap the tube so that it drives on nicely. We don't want this to squeeze together too much. If it pinches, it's not going to turn. What you could do to stop that happening is actually put something underneath here before you bang it together. So we could use a little shaving of wood maybe that just sticks out like this, or a piece of paper, and that's called a shim. So you drive it down to the shim and then remove the shim and you leave a gap, and then it will spin nicely. Okay, so we've got this attached, and now we are going to put the one driven, the driving gear, in position as well. So we take one of these ready-made, we used to call them camshafts, a gear shaft, because it's driving our gears, and we're going to pop it through the hole like so, and then we're going to attach this gear in position. Now that can be really tricky to get on actually, so before we do that we're going to see if it goes on in our fingers, and if it doesn't, which is likely, it might be a bit too big, we're going to take one of these sandpaper boards, which should hopefully be stuck onto here, and we're just going to put our finger on like so, and working on just half of it, we're going to sand it down. Now, one of the first things to do is perhaps, instead of doing each side like I'm doing now, just work on the corners, because normally that's enough to make that squeeze through. We want it to be able to squeeze through nice and tight. Okay, if it's tight and it just starts to move, then you might be able to encourage it down further. If you push it, if it's particularly tight but still moving, then we could use our tubes again. If we put it in position, take our tube, position that in place, and we can tap it to the desired location. If it's tight, it's going to be good because we want it to stay in position. We don't want it moving around. If it moves, it disengages and it's not going to work anymore. So we want it to be tight. We don't want to have to get into the realms of using glue guns to stick it, because that won't last very long either. So it's better if it's nice and tight. Okay, so sand it down until it just squeezes on. Once you've done that, and a little bevel on the end of the chamfer helps to get it going. But let's pop it through our hole. Now we take this one and we pop it through. Should squeeze on again. And we should be able to get it in position. So that when we turn, it's now turning our other spoke gear. Now that's going to disengage if that moves. So to stop that moving out, what we're going to do is get it symmetrical. So you've got even amounts hanging either side. We're going to position that in place. We're going to take two of these stops, and again they are designed to squeeze on. Put one on this side, and now it can't go this way. We'll take one of these again, we'll pop it on here, and now it can't go that way. So with those two, that's going to make sure that this never slides out of place and that engagement is always assured.